Hi everyone, so today we're going to be creating our own onion dome cityscapes. So in Russia they have these really interesting buildings that have onion dome tops, or buildings that kind of look like a Hershey kiss on the top. So here's an example of what we will be doing today. They come to a point at the top like an onion that's growing, or very similar to a Hershey kiss. So we will be making our own onion dome cityscape. So your paper today will be going the tall ways, and I'm going to go ahead and use a Sharpie so you can see it, but I would like you to use a pencil just so if you need to erase. So to start, what we're going to do is we're going to make the buildings that are in the front. So they're going to be a little bit shorter. So right here, I'm going to start with a line. Now you can do more buildings or less buildings, but this is how I'm going to do mine. So 2 lines right there, and then to do the onion dome, you're going to make it just a little bit bigger in width than those lines, so a little bit further out, and then they're going to curve together with kind of a C shape, and then they come to that point right there, so kind of the top of a curvy triangle. So I'm going to do that over here too. I'm going to make one the same height as that one. I'm going to curve out a little bit farther, curve in those C shapes, and then bring it to a point. Now, the buildings have these little wires on top to like catch lightning bolts and things, so I'm going to go ahead and add that. And you could add a little detail, like a little shape to it, like something like a heart or a square, whatever you want to add there. Or some people just like to add dots, which is really interesting too if you make a pattern out of it. And then behind these two, I'm going to make a bigger building. So if your rod right there at the top of your building starts there, you're going to want to start your building a little bit above that. So I'm going to curve my line down. I'm going to start with my curved line so I can kind of figure out how wide I want it. And then I'm going to bring those straight lines down. So that one might kind of go off the page a little bit more. That is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and curve up with the C and curve up with the C, and this is where it might kind of go off the edge, is the top of that. So curve up, and that's okay. And then I think I'll add a couple little shorter buildings just right in here. And they can kind of go off the page too. So once you have your onion dome buildings, we're going to add some patterns to them and kind of give them some different shapes and designs on them. So for your shapes, this is where you get to be creative with your shapes. You could also do line patterns. So I think I'm going to design each of the tops of my buildings a little bit different. So these ones kind of all come out and taper or get smaller towards the top. So after you have those smaller building designs, you could do a different design for the top of these. So you could do maybe these all come at a curve and go up. This is your choice here. And then maybe these curve just kind of around, or maybe up and down. That's your option for adding those designs. And then around the buildings, you want them to have some sort of pattern, because the buildings in Russia that have these onion domes are very ornate, or they have a lot of carving, a lot of detail. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and add some different shapes and lines. And then if you wanted to add something like circular shapes, that will work. Or maybe some curved lines and maybe some little places that have something that would look like a window. But if you have one design on one building, you want to kind of change the design on the next. Now you can still use different patterns on different buildings or same patterns on different buildings, but just try to think about what's behind it and what's going to be in front of it. And then over here, I think I'll do some curved stripes. And then like how we designed our little lightning rods at the top of our buildings, we're going to go ahead and add maybe some shapes similar to that. And then you could always take a pattern and you could maximize it or make it larger. So you can do the same thing, but make it bigger. So this one is bigger circles, and maybe I flipped it, so made it upside down. And then you could also do kind of that curve or mermaid shape, or maybe some straight up and down triangles. And then for this building, I'm just going to make it really easy. And I think I'll just do straight lines. So once you have your drawing complete with all the details that you want to add, go ahead and join me tomorrow in part 2 when we color this.